Hey guys, how's it going? Hope your week one stuff went well. Did you do all the practice problems one day at a time, spread them out? Best way to do them. That's how you'll get it. So pause it, try these warm-ups from last week's problem. Do them as quickly and mentally as you can. Focus on being correct, but do them as much as you can mentally. So go ahead and pause it. Okay, you're back. Let's look at the first one. 8 times 9, 72. Zeros, 2 of them. There we go. 11 times 6 is 66, and 2 zeros. There we go. A division, so 2 minus 1 is 1 0. 44 divided by 11 is 4. There we go. Division again, 3 minus 1 zeros is 2 zeros. 72 divided by 9 is 8. This is a multiplication, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good grief. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 times 1 is 3, so the answer is 3 million. This is division. 5 zeros minus 3 zeros is 2 zeros. 36 divided by 4 is 9. This one is about 1 times 300, which is about 300. Ignore the zeros, ignore the decimal. 6 times 3 is 18. What makes this about 300? 180. This is about 5 divided by 8, which is about 1. It's kind of half. But 48 divided by 8 is 6. To make that about half, there's 0.6. This is estimating 500 times 1, which is 500, but it's not. We ignore this, we ignore this, we ignore that, we ignore everything. We ignore the 5, we ignore the 9, we ignore this 2. No, I'm sorry, don't ignore the 5 and the 9. We got to have the 5 and the 9. That's 45. Close to 500 is 450. There we go. This is about 6 divided by 7, which is about 1. So that's our estimate. 63 divided by 7 is 9. That ain't about 1. That's about 1.9. All right, last two. These are the tricky ones. This is 30,000 times, not even quite 1. All right, I'm going to show you a trick and pretty soon you'll like this a lot better. The actual answer to this, ignoring everything, is 3 times 2. Then you actually get 6,000, and we'll go over that a little bit later. Those are tricky at first. This is 54,000 divided by 1, which is 54,000. Okay. We don't care about that. It's 54 divided by 9, which is 6. What's close to 54,000? 60,000. That's the closest. Here we go. That is our warm-up. Okay. This week, we're going to go back and look at 0.5 again. What does it mean? You're explaining to a little kid. What do you say? You say it's 5 out of 10, right? 5 tenths. Don't forget, 5 tenths, 5 hundredths, 5 thousandths. And reading them as percents, we'll talk about that as a second, all right? Well, we know what 5.5 is as a percent, right? 50%, because that's 5 out of 10 is 50%. 5 out of 100, well, anything out of 100 is by definition the percent, so that's 5%. So, all right? This is, before we're going to start here, the old, which is to say evil way of multiplying decimals and zeros, okay? And when I say evil, I mean evil. This is what they did to me when I was a kid. 9,000 times 0.03 and 9, then the 3 is 3 times, then no, 20, 0 times, there, they try to add this, Okay, I almost became a gypsy or something, wanting to wander the desert for the rest of my days, but this is much, much better, okay? This is how to multiply and cancel decimals and zeros. So you don't have to mess with any of this stuff at all. Way easier, and eventually you'll be doing it in your head, so it's even more fun. So how to cancel decimals and zeros. Again, pause this thing if you need to. All right, number 1, move the decimal point on either the decimal number or the number with zeros, so there are no decimal places or zeros left. You just want what's called an integer, just a nice whole number. That's all you want. All right. Step 2. Move the decimal point of the other number exactly the same number of times the opposite way. Number 3, multiply with an exclamation point so you can see it's fun. Okay. All right. I'll show you how to do this. Now let's focus on this one here, for example. All right. Number 1, we're going to take either one of these and move the decimal so it gets rid of everything except for like an integer. Okay. So you could either do this. You could go, okay, I'm going to move this over here twice to the right, which gives me a 6. If I do it twice to the right, I do this one twice to the left. Okay, so that's not 300 anymore. It's 3. 3 times 6, 18. Boom, there you go. Same thing on this one. You can do either one you want, right? You could go, now what I would do is just make it easy as I can for myself. So if one of them looks better to you, do it that way. No reason why you can't do one or the other. So here we go. Let's try, this one goes over 1 to the right? Turns into a 9. This one goes over 1 to the left. That's gone. Now it's 800. Well, you know what 800 times 9 is, right? That's our old trick. 2 zeros plus no zeros is 2 zeros. 8 times 9, yoink. There we go. That's it. How about this third one? You can go over here if you wanted to. You can do either way. Let me show you something funny. Let's say you started on this one. You could go all the way across and go, I'm going to move it over 3 times to the left. That gives me 2, right? If I do this 3 times to the left, I do this 3 times to the right? That gives me an extra 0, and I have 2 times 70. 2 times 7 is 14, 1 0. There we go. Now let's say somebody else did it differently and went, oh, I did the other way. I don't care, fine. This is over to the right twice. It gives you 7. If you do that, this over to the left twice. Boom, that gives you 20, right? 20 times 7 is 2 times 7 with 1 0. Same thing we just got. It'll work, all right? Look at this one. I would do this maybe 3 times over to the right. That's a 3. 3 times over to the left. That's a 50. 50 times 3, 150. This one, I would go, I don't know. I mean, you could go, I don't know. You might as well get rid of everything. So that's a 7 there. 3 over to the right. And let's go 3 over to the left. That's going to be 0.6 times 7. And this is one of those where you go, oh, I didn't get to it. You know, it's okay. 6 times 7 is 42, right? This is about half times 7. So there you go. That's it. And the last one, this is either way you want to do it's fine. Let's do this one first. I'm going to go 5 over. Rid of all that stuff. Give me a 4. If I go 5 over here to the right, I get 2 zeros, right? So that's 900. 4 times 900, 3,600. There we go. Piece of cake. All right. Pause it. Try these 6. Okay. Unpause here, I guess. All right. Move it over to the left twice. That gives you 8. To the right, that gives you 4. 8 times 4. There you go. Same thing here. You can go whichever one you want to go over. I'll move this over twice to the left. That gives me 12. 12 times twice to the left, that gives me 70. 12 times 70. 12 times 7 is 84. And 1 0. There we go. This one, I'll move over twice to the right here. That's a 9. Twice to the left there, that's going to be 40. 40 times 9 is 36 with a 0. There you go. All right. Last 3 here, I could just move it over 1 time here, probably easier than that one. That gives me a 4. Only 1 time here, that gives me 30,000. Well, don't forget, that's not going to be that. It's going to be 30,000, but that's just 3 times 4, right? 12 with 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. There you go. This one, there we go. And then, boink. That ends up being 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is, of course, 52. No, it's not 52. It's 10. Okay. Just seeing if you're still awake there. All right. You move this thing over 4 times. That gives you a 3. 4 times here gets rid of all that jazz. So you get 600 times 3, 1,800. There we go. That's it. Piece of cake. Okay. Let's look at a down below. There's a link that takes you to the page where you need to download this handout, and it'll say on there week 2 handout, converting decimals, fractions, and percents. There should be a comma here. There we go. And make these into little note cards this week so you can look at them quickly and go back and forth and write your own example. But let's take a look at these. And you can see on your card how it looks like. So let's go to the actual fraction decimal here. And okay, fraction to decimal. Set up a short division problem and divide. Decimal to fraction, you can look at those. There are 6 different types since there's 3. So let's actually do one of these. Doing a fraction to a decimal, we're going to convert 2/5 to a decimal. So a fraction to a decimal. A fraction, this right here means to divide. So you're dividing 2 by 5. That doesn't mean you're doing this. That's 5 divided by 2. You're doing this instead. We all know how to do this. You just add a little, decimal and then so on, okay? So 5 into 20 is 0.4. It works perfectly, so stop right there, okay? You can actually, if you want to, we'll talk more about this doing short division in the future. Okay, let's go fraction to a percent. Fraction to a percent. A fraction to a percent is this. We're going to go 13/20ths to a percent. Well, look at your handout here. A fraction to a percent, you convert it, the number to a decimal, which is what we just did. You move the decimal twice over. So let's do that. So 13 divided by 20, remember, it's not this, it's this. All right, and we'll throw a couple of zeros there and do our division problem. So 20 into 130, same thing as 2 into 13, that's 6. That's going to be 120, 10 left over. Drop the 0, 20 into 100 is 5, it works perfectly, right? That's your decimal. To get it to a percent, you simply move it over twice, like this. And there we go. That means it's 65%. Okay, let's try another one. A decimal to a fraction. Now this is a killer one. Look at your instructions here. Decimal to a fraction. Make a fraction with the decimal as a numerator and 1 as the denominator. So every number on earth, even a decimal, is a fraction because you can just put it over 1, right? Anything in the world is a fraction. Okay. Second step, move the numerator decimal however many times to create a whole number. Really, the term is an integer. So you'll move this 3 times and you get 375. Well, you can't just do that to the top. You have to do it to the bottom as well, right? So you'll end up going, that's going to be 375 out of 1,000, right? Then you reduce that fraction. That's actually okay as a fraction, but if you notice, 125 will go into both, well, if you know your 125's tables, which I'm sure you memorized in 3rd grade, but anyway. This actually reduces down to 3/8. So there we go. All right, let's go decimal to percent. Convert these to percents. Well, this is a piece of cake. Decimals to a percent, you just go over twice. 37.5%. I'm real good at writing percent, that symbol there. Okay, over here, you might go, oh, that's 8%. Nope, make sure it's over twice. So there's a 0 there, that's going to be 80%. There we go. Okay, and then we'll do last 2. Percent to a decimal, convert this and this to a decimal, you just go the other way, right? A percent to a decimal, you go to the left. So 0.836, that's the decimal. And this is, let's say, 7%. Well, you look at this and you go, 7%. Oh man, where's the decimal right now? Well, it's right here. So if the decimal is right here, you move it over twice. 1, 2, and the decimal goes there. It's 0.07, not 0.7. That's 70%. Okay. All right. 35% and 62.5% to fractions. Let's try this one first. A percent to a fraction. Well, look at your handout. All right. A percent to a fraction, bottom right, convert it to a decimal, which means you move it over twice. So the decimal will be 0.35. All right. Now to make that into a fraction, well, it is a fraction. It's over 1. You just have to make it into integers. So move it over twice. That'll be 35. Move the bottom over twice, and that'll be what? The 100, right? All right, 5 goes into both of those, 7 times and 20 times, and there you go, and that's it. Now let's do 62.5% as a fraction. Well, first thing, you're going to go like that. That's going to be 0.6. You know what? Let me clear this all out so you can see a little better. That'll be 0.625, okay? Now we're going to make that into a fraction. So it's already a fraction. It's over 1. Move it over 3 times. That's going to be 625. Throw over 3 times. That's going to be 1,000. If you were to do, to do 5s, then 25s, then keep reducing it, you would eventually get 5/8 as your final answer. So there you go. Okay. Look at those cards, look at that printout. Print it out. Make cards out of it and look at those and do some practice problems and do them over and over. And this is not stuff you're going to have to do in your head. Don't worry. Okay. This is less mental math than just being able to go, okay, I got this. This maybe, yeah, you can do that in your head. 0.07, 0.836, all that kind of thing. This kind of thing to fractions, go ahead and write them out. That's okay. I just want to make sure you can do those correctly and very accurately. Okay. All right. Give this a whirl, pause this sheet and do both. Pause this and do both of those. Okay, convert this to a decimal. Well, don't forget this, any fraction bar that means this is a division problem. This is 11 pizzas divided into 20 people is what this is. So a decimal, you simply do the division. Now, let me show you short division. You can do this if you want to. You write it down if you want to, that's fine, but you don't have to do all this stuff down here. 20 goes into 110 5 times, right? What's left over? 10, right? So you put your 10 right here and connect it to that next number. 20 into 100 is 5, so your answer is 0.55. Now you know how to convert that to a percent, right? What's 0.55? As a percent, you just move it over twice, 55%. There you go. All right? Try these two, pause this, and use your card and the method, and come back when you're ready. Okay, convert this to a fraction. Well, it is a fraction already. It's 0.72 over 1, right? Move it over twice, that's going to be 72. Move it over twice, it's 100. You could leave it like that, but let's go ahead and reduce it as much as we can. By 2's, we can go 36 over 50. Oh, by 2's again, 18 over 25, and that's as reduced as it can get. This is easier, this bottom one, convert these to percents. Well, percents, you just move it over twice, right? So 1, 2, that's a 60, 60%. Move this over twice, and the decimal goes right there, so that's 79.4%. There you go. Okay, pause it and try these two. All right, converting these to decimals, you know, what's the process to convert these into decimals? You just move it over twice, right? 0.215. And then the decimal is there, so you go whoop, yoop, and then the decimal is there. Don't forget to put a 0, so it's 0.03, not 0.3. Okay. Convert those to fractions. Well, first off, let's convert this to a decimal. What is 45% as a decimal? You just move it over twice, right? So 0.45. To make it into a fraction, you just stick it over a 1, right? Everything's a fraction. Move it over twice to make it 45, and then move it over twice to make it 100. And then, of course, 5 goes into both of those, and that is your fraction reduced. This, as a fraction, just move it over twice, right? So it's going to be 0.325. That's your decimal. As a fraction, it's going to be over, I'm not going to tell you the answer here. You have to connect the dots to see if you can discover what secret number this is, right? Oh, yeah, 1, that's it. Okay, yeah. Okay, so get rid of that. That's going to be 3 times over. 325, and then 3 times over gives you 1,000. If you were to do the long reduction of this and so on, you'd find that 25 goes into 325 13 times and into 1,000 40 times. And there you go. That's the method, okay? All right, pause this, do these as fast and accurately as you can, and come back. Okay, that was fast. All right, we have 5 times 4 is 20, 2 zeros. 11 times 12 is 132, 2 zeros. 88 divided by 11 is 8, 2 minus 1 zeros, there you go. 66 divided by 6 is 11, 3 zeros, minus 1 0 is 2 zeros. 7 times 9 is 63, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, which is, of course, my annual salary right there. Okay, all right. This is a division. 24 divided by 4 is 6, and 5 minus 3 zeros is 2 zeros. Go. Okay, estimate on these, don't forget. 1 times 8 is 8, but 12 times 8 is 96, and that's the closest to 8. 6 divided by 7 is about 1. 63 divided by 7 is 9, that's about 1. 600 times 0.6 is less than 600 somewhere. 6 times 6 is 36. The closest is 360. 7.2 divided by 9 is about 1. 72 divided by 9 is 8, and that is about 1. This 8,000 times 0.9 is about 8,000, right? That's our estimate. 8 times 9 is 72. The thing that's closest to 8,000 is that. And the last one here, 56,000 divided by about 1, about 60,000 or so. 56 divided by 8 is 7, and the closest one there is going to be 70,000, and there you go. Okay, let's skip this one and pause this and try the word problems and come back. All right, first one, 800 buses, each with 40 riders. That's going to be 800 times 40. That'll be 8 times 4 is 32. 3 zeros, 32,000. 84 among 120, that's 84 divided by 12, that's 7. 3 zeros minus 1 zero is 2 zeros, 700. All right, 50,000 frogs, 0.7 used for dissection. How many for dissection? You know your trick now, right? That's going to be, in other words, you're going, what is 0.07 of 50,000? And of course, that's multiplying, right? You're multiplying here. So to do that, you just like, twice, that's going to be a 7. And right there, that's gone. 500 times 7 is 35 with 2 zeros. Okay. All right. You guys have a great day. Don't forget, do your worksheet. All those 4 things spread out over 4 days. Okay. And write those cards for the fractions, decimals, percents if you need to. See you next week.